Your homework for this week is going to be to create a CSS file for your website, the 3-page website that you built last week and turned in now. I will be grading those and troubleshooting those, so you might get some feedback about what's wrong with your HTML before you try to make your CSS work. But what I want you to do is do the same thing we did for Bubble Under. You're going to create a style.css file and save it in the same folder as your website. So it's going to be hanging out here loose with your HTML pages. And inside of it, I want you to stylize similar to what we did here. I want you to stylize if you have a header, if you have navigation, if you have a footer. If you want to make your body content section have a white background, but the rest of the page have a blue background like we did here, the body section tells what color the entire thing is going to be. But if you come down here and do a hashtag body content and you give it a background color of white, for instance, that section will override it and will just be white. So wherever you have your body content would be white, or your footer could be a different color. So I want you to play around with this and have some fun. I want you to change fonts. I want you to change background colors. I want your hyperlinks in the navigation specifically to not be underlined like we did here. I would like you to use hex codes. So instead of doing white, navy, red, I want you to use these hex codes. And again, I had a link for you in the PowerPoint that talked about where you can go and get some of these. So HTML color codes / color picker, or just do any search for HTML color codes. And when you get these, I can imagine that any of these are going to work just perfectly. And yep, this is that same page actually. So you want a yellow background for your whole page. You come in here and you move this around and you find the version of yellow that you like. And here is your hex code. So F5C814, that would be what you would put in the body section background color. You would type in that hex code and that's going to give you the color of your choice. So play around with this, use this as your starting point, but really play around with the different options. And if you're looking for something that we didn't cover, this reference sheet right here has all of the different things you can do. Don't fret unless this is a career that you want to jump into. Having a basic understanding of this is what I want for you. And I want you to see how much nicer we have made this website. It's still ugly, don't get me wrong, but we've done a lot to improve it by using CSS. So for your own website, you're going to create a CSS page called Style. You're going to write a bunch of rules in it, including specific rules for these areas. If we want to control what the footer looks like, we would just do a rule for the footer. So for example, right here, we could do hashtag footer. And the rule for our footer, we're not targeting something specific within it, but in general, our whole footer, we want to have a background color of something. So background color is what we're looking for. So we say background color white. And if we save that and reload our document, our footer now has a background color of white. The whole body is still blue, and because this doesn't go down to the bottom of our page, it resumes being blue after the footer is done. There's lots that you can do with this, and I want you to kind of have some fun and test this out. When you're done, you're going to be giving me this whole Bubble Under file again. Bubble Under, where are you? Clean Bubble Under. This now contains your style sheet. You're going to zip this up, send to a compressed folder, and once you do that, Clean Bubble Under with CSS is the name I'm going to give that. this would be what you upload to Blackboard. So I'll be able to look at your personal website for your pretend business with CSS attached to it. And that's going to be due next week by midnight on Monday night, with our class starting again on Tuesday. So let me know if you have any questions. I'm planning on doing a drop-in troubleshooting for this class on Thursday, and I will get more details to you about that in Blackboard in email, but it will be a time that you can log into Blackboard Collaborate and we can ask questions or do some troubleshooting. So thank you, and I'll talk to you all later.